But make no mistake, right now, many of the gains of the last 20 years and the promise of a better future are under threat. Scotland's vote to remain in the EU has been ignored. The Conservative Party has ridden roughshod over the Scottish Parliament. For the very first time, the UK government has chosen to legislate on devolved matters without the consent of the Holyrood Parliament. With so-called moderate Conservatives in full retreat and the hardline Brexit ultras on the march, that is surely only a taste of what is to come. The Tories' #1 pledge at this election is to take Scotland out of the EU against our will. Now, I doubt that there is anyone in Scotland who is not heartily sick of the Brexit nightmare. But the Boris Johnson deal does not get Brexit done. It just opens the door to the next episode of the Brexit horror show. And now I'll take some questions from... Under the Tory deal, England will have voted to leave and will leave. Wales will have voted to leave and will leave. Northern Ireland will get a special deal, a great deal, according to Boris Johnson in the footage we've seen today. Scotland, with the highest Remain vote of any nation in the UK, would be deprived of all of the aspects that make the deal great for Northern Ireland and instead be taken out of the EU against our will. That is undemocratic and it is unfair. Our friends in the press, Brian. So Westminster's priorities can be summed up in just 3 words: Brexit, Brexit, Brexit. A vote for the SNP, in contrast, is a vote to escape Brexit. A vote for the SNP is a vote to take Scotland's future out of the hands of Boris Johnson and a broken Westminster system. A vote for the SNP is a vote to put Scotland's future firmly in Scotland's hands. We will fight tooth and nail any attempt to expose the National Health Service to a post-Brexit trade deal with Donald Trump. That is why, after this election, SNP MPs will bring forward a new law, an NHS protection bill, to explicitly protect the NHS in all 4 countries of the UK from being a bargaining chip in future trade deals. That bill would prevent private companies from taking legal action through investment protection or investor-state dispute resolution mechanisms. It would ensure that confidential discounts for expensive medicines would not be at risk, and it would stipulate that before any trade deal could come into force, the Scottish Parliament and the other devolved legislatures would need to give their explicit consent. My intention is that the people of Scotland will decide Scotland's future in an independence referendum next year. The SNP, of course, already has a cast-iron mandate for an independence referendum based on our explicit manifesto pledge for the 2016 Holyrood election. So if the SNP wins this election in Scotland, the question should not be to me or to the SNP, what will you do if Westminster refuses? The question must be to Boris Johnson and to Westminster. What gives you the right to block the democratic wishes of the people of Scotland? That is an undemocratic, untenable and ultimately unsustainable position.